jack shit that high? You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere, huh? Sir, no, sir!
Welcome, folks, to the regular Menthol podcast where we discuss Keynote movies. My name is Tate, and my co-host here is Chris.
Hello.
We give a little thoughts on the movie, our personal experience growing up. Then we discuss specific scenes that we like, followed up with a little Keynote rating. Movie.
What is this
we're
movie?
talking about today, Bud?
Full Metal Jacket. This movie came out in 1987, the year I was born, folks.
And if you're hearing this, we are in week 2 of Vietnam season. We're really in the heart of it right now. Bud.
In the thick of it.
How do you feel?
We're in the thick of it. Well, how do I feel? I feel freaking hot, considering the fact that the AC in my house went. So, like...
You feel like you're in the jungles right now?
Dude, it's so insane that the timing couldn't be any better because I'm literally sweating my ass off. So we had to buy like a bunch of fans and like those window units. Those window AC. Yeah. So basically we have to have someone come over and this dude in our neighborhood works HVAC and he's going to come fix it. Typically, it's they have these coils on these things you got to replace, but it's a real pain in the ass, And then as soon as I'm getting that buttoned up tonight, my garbage disposal at my sink goes, so I'm trying to fix that. It's just a real pain in the ass. In the heart of Vietnam season, I'm getting cooked. How about yourself?
I mean, I'm feeling real tired. We're at the end of the week here, dude, and like sometimes when I get down, like I get home on a Thursday, I'm just so tired. And I bet you're wondering, gee, did you go all out at work today? No. I sat on the desk and literally did nothing all day.
Well,
it's just coming down from stimulant abuse. I've just been destroying caffeine and nicotine.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, you have to be a little bit excited and happy considering the recent goings of XRP.
Yes, XRP Chads, we are winning after all the years that we've been called schizophrenics.
Tell the people what year you started investing in XRP.
Dude, I don't remember. Like, I remember sitting in
I think it was
2017 in the office.
No, I don't know, man. I think that was 2015. I have reason to believe that we were 2015 XRP.
I think it was later. I think it was later though, because first off, I don't even know. I think 2015 was when I met you.
Right, but something stands out to me. I think 2015, 2016. But yeah, I mean, this is back when it was like 25 cents a coin.
Dude, I remember sitting in the office, and you and I were discussing like, "Hey, wait a second. Yeah, this Bitcoin, it's popping off, but what's the next one?"
Dude, I was thinking about
this.
Yeah, right. I was thinking about this, and you have Coinbase now, which God knows when that came out. But remember that platform that we used to have to buy this stuff on? It was like out of China or something. You had to jump through hoops to get there. What was that called?
I think
Binance.
It was Binance. That was when it was back in the heyday when you didn't need to have any kind of KYC or anything. I could be wrong about this, but I remember signing up on the exchange, moving our crypto on there, and then transferring it into XRP because that was the only way you could get XRP at that time. You couldn't use Coinbase. It wasn't listed on Coinbase at the time.
Oh, God. Binance.
I think this is all hazy though. I don't. Who knows?
Folks, get your shit coins before they pop off. We're not giving financial advice.
We also don't actually own any crypto or XRP. We're making this up.
All right. Well, talk to me more about this movie. Tell me about this Full Metal Jacket.
Well, gee whiz. I mean, the movie is about, in my opinion, is about mind control. The military just breaking you down from whatever you show up as down to nothing and then building you back up into a killer.
I like that take.
The movie is basically a Joker-pilled pragmatist U.S. Marine takes note of the dehumanizing effects the Vietnam War has on his fellow soldiers, all the way from boot camp to Saigon.
Bless. This this movie, I mean, I totally forgot this was a Kubrick film.
Yeah.
It makes sense though when you watch it. Kind of has his style to it. But for me, what's kind of wild about this movie is like there's an opening sequence, and it's almost comical in a way, and then it gets real dark real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They enhance the darkness with this incredible soundtrack that this movie has.
Yeah.
It's got a number of good songs that they integrate into the movie, but they also have their own tracks that were made specifically for this movie that are more instrumentals.
Mm-hmm.
And they just enhance the creepiness and the darkness of some of these really dark scenes that you're referring to.
Dude. Yeah, for sure.
You know, there'll be like this lighthearted banter for minutes of screen time between these guys. Mm-hmm. And it'll just cut to some really disturbing scene that's overlaid with this instrumental music that's incredibly creepy.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Like when, you know, we'll get into the specifics when we talk about it, but
one thing that stood out to me was these guys are seemingly all dudes who were drafted. So to me, they're just regular dudes that were forced into this. Do you think, I just want your opinion on this. Do you think that regular dudes in today's society could mentally or even physically survive basic training like this?
Yeah, I do.
Like, let's say we go to war with Iran or Russia, right? Mm-hmm. And they're training these dudes to become killing machines, normal dudes in today's society. Like, can you train these dudes to have killer instinct nowadays? Yeah. I mean, I guess you could. These dudes are playing Call of Duty nonstop, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to be said that last episode I was talking about what they called the drafted people, and then it was, I think it's McNamara's morons, because the idea was that they would get all these like dregs from society and just draft them and go to, you know, there's your fleet, there's your force of men. And supposedly they were not as combat effective,
right,
as an all-volunteer force or whatever. I don't know how accurate that is, but that was the perception. And the name for it was this McNamara's morons. And I think the idea of this basic training scene is that you can get anyone. This is the idea of basic training in general. You can get anyone and shape them into the perfect killer that you need for you to invade other countries and start killing people.
Not everybody. Private Pilot
Not everyone. And that's why they had that Section 8 or whatever.
Right.
But, you know, they're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the system that they have is like the best kind of system that you can get to do the kind of thing that you're talking about, of getting these modern people and making them into killers. And that's why this whole movie is about mind control.
Yeah.
It could be argued that a lot of Kubrick's ideas, all his movies, are about mind control one way or another.
Right.
But in this case, it's breaking down some kid like Joker, who's making jokes on day one, or Private Pile, who can't keep a straight face, and just punishing their willpower over and over until they break them down into nothing and then build them back up into a killer.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Unfortunately, it doesn't really work for Pile, but.
Speaking of Kubrick, I get the vibe that he's emphasizing war is more of a show. You know, so he's got the journalism guys when Joker's in that tent with all the he's like, yeah, we got to make war sexy. And then like they're doing those interviews later on with each guy for TV. There's just a bunch of different scenes where it's just focused on like they're actually shooting like live film in the middle of one of their raids or whatever. But if you remember correctly, right, there's that whole conspiracy that Kubrick directed the moon landing, if you recall this. So what's he trying to say? The Vietnam War was fake? What's going on here?
I don't know about that, but certainly the idea of it is fake. One of the things about Vietnam was this was one of the first wars where they were able to get cameras in
Right.
and take footage of everything.
Mhm.
And so now the American people are seeing this on the nightly news, and they're like, holy smokes, this is a lot different than what we're being told.
Right.
They're seeing the reality of it, of like, yeah, people are dying.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are getting blown up and everything, right? Maybe it was a commentary on that.
Perhaps.
Fakeness of the news, and, you know, Joker is working for Stars and Stripes, and how they're rewriting terms.
Well, they had to spin the
Orwellian way.
Yeah, they had to spin the narrative for sure to get people to support it, and people still didn't. Anyhow, let me ask you a question. What's the first time you watched this movie?
Gee whiz, the first time I watched this movie was in the early 90s, and I remember because my brother was watching it in the living room, another classic tale of me just being forced to watch some insane nonsense on TV.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember being like 7 years old and being extremely disturbed by Private Pyle shooting himself in the head.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like,
pretty gnarly
what?
scene.
Like, I don't know about this stuff as like a 7-year-old, people killing themselves and whatnot. And it damn near made me depressed. I'm left wondering to myself as a 7-year-old. I'm thinking, why would someone do that? And you ask your, like, imagine me sitting in the living room. I asked my mom, like, why did he do that? You know, like, what kind of answer is she giving me? Yeah.
It's Private Pyle.
Well, he went crazy. You know, he lost his mind.
Yeah, dude. Ah, Jesus. What a horrible scene. For me, I mean, I watched this long ago. I don't know if I was quite 7 years old, but, yeah, I mean, I forget the majority of it, honestly. But yeah, I recall like the popular scenes, whatever. I've seen, you know, a million YouTube clips pop up that I watched, but I don't remember vividly watching it, you know, start to finish. I'd probably say I was like, you know, 14, 15, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, that's healthy. You can at least understand what's going on.
Yeah. I'm not watching it at 7 years old. That's
yeah.
kind of alarming, but hey. Who's the literal you character? Who's literally me?
The literally me character is Joker.
Yeah.
Because I'm a sarcastic prick in the face of authority, even when it's completely unnecessary and dangerous to be.
Right. Facts.
Where
I can get behind
I'm kind of like, if I think it would be funny, even though it's totally inappropriate, I should say, I might just say something sarcastic.
Yeah, facts. You're Joker, definitely.
I'm also like Joker, like he deals with dark stuff by cracking some joke, but he says it like completely deadpan. You're
Dude,
like, is this guy serious or not?
Throughout this whole movie, it's incredible, his delivery on some of these lines. Yeah. Myself, kind of a crazy Earl guy, honestly. Yeah. Super sarcastic, but he's also a complete psycho. The guy's certified based. I just love that character. I mean, he only has a couple lines, but he's gold for sure. Let's get into some of these Keynote scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out, they're getting their heads shaved, and already you're like, okay, these guys are being depersonalized here,
right?
And then the drill sergeant, one of the best in the world, Ermey, is just holding court in the barracks, kind of introducing them to what's about to go down, introducing them to the Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Ermey is the perfect actor for this role.
Yeah.
You like imagine a more perfect actor. You cannot.
I think, wasn't he not the first choice?
Correct. They were originally going to cast the guy who ends up playing the helicopter gunner who yells, "Get some, get some, get some." You know that guy?
What a horrible choice that would have been.
They later this is actually wild. Apparently they later like he was going to be that the guy, the Get Some guy, was going to be the drill sergeant, like up to shooting almost. Mm-hmm. And they had these tapes. Apparently, Ermey was doing these tapes with the guy to kind of give him an idea of like what a real drill sergeant is like.
Yeah.
And Ermey was a real drill sergeant in real life, and also did like a tour in Vietnam and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So these tapes, apparently Ermey realizes that Kubrick is seeing these tapes, and he starts popping off, and just like the tapes will be like 2 hours. Like he'd get Kubrick would get a tape of 2 hours of Ermey just yelling at people.
Based. I mean, yeah, you can't, dude. He couldn't have not knocked this out of the park anymore, man. It's such an incredible role, and just knocks it out of the park for sure.
I'm pretty sure he got a Golden Globe for this role.
Did he?
Now, that's pretty wild because he's like an unknown actor, and he's in this. He has the most speaking lines probably in this whole movie, but he's obviously not the main character.
Right.
And Kubrick's famous for having people do like 40 takes.
Yes, I've heard this.
And from what I've read, he was perfectly fine with Ermey doing only a couple takes because he was just that good and that.
Yeah, he's just locked in. It's natural too. I mean, like you said, he's a former drill sergeant, did a tour. It's going to come. Yeah, if he can convey it, then it'll work. It's also, there's a shot here where it's the red sun with like the silhouette of the troops, if you caught that, in the foreground. I referenced this shot last week in Platoon because it's the exact same shot.
Yeah.
It's really cool with the silhouette dudes in the front, which Platoon came out a year before. So Kubrick doing a little thieving, are we?
Wait a second here, bud. Wait a second.
Is he a thief? But yeah, another thing that caught me was I'm watching this and I noticed that it takes 26 minutes of this movie before like a meaningful conversation happens. When Pyle kind of opens up to Joker that everyone hates him. They talk when he's climbing over the what do you call
obstacle course thing?
Obstacle course. But aside from that, no one really says anything meaningful. I mean, you have Ermey just going nuts, but there's no real dialogue like 26 minutes into this movie, which I find kind of wild.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it makes you wonder what actually takes place in real life boot camp.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is drive the point home of how this is. Like he's really trying to give you a feel for what that's like, and he's going overboard, and it's working. So I thought that was.
It makes you be like, did they actually do anything in boot camp?
For real.
Just like run around and have dudes yell at them.
That's pretty much it. Clean their gun. But I think they had to do it that way just because they had to overemphasize. You're getting these guys ready for combat, in a place where anything goes, right?
Yeah.
You got to expect the unexpected. You got to be ready for it. It's kind of the idea that kind of the vibe that I get. But another thing that caught my attention was Kubrick, in this movie. It's real cool that he conveys so much without words. For example, like there's a scene, it's just literally maybe 30 seconds where they're all outside doing these burpees and they're counting out loud. And the camera just pans across the platoon of guys, like to reveal Pyle, who's sitting on this table and he's just sucking his thumb. And it's just further demoralizing him. And the camera fades out. And that's just it. That's what you get for that. It's just further driving into the ground what's going on here.
You don't know specifically what happened there, but he messed up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Flipped out on him and made him just sit there and suck his thumb.
Dude, it's just further descent into madness, right? But and it's crazy too because you see his kind of development as a character, and what's wild is they have that shooting scene where he's like doing pretty well at these like long range targets.
Yeah,
and Ermey kind of daps him up. He's like, dude, we might make a soldier out of you yet.
Right.
And he shows promise only to, the inevitable happens, but it's kind of wild because you think he's going to pull through, right? And he eventually graduates, but then you just see this guy going completely unhinged, which is pretty wild.
That's all he wanted. He wanted the guy to just get his act together.
Yeah.
And he couldn't.
Right.
Until.
I
mean, like, they all just start beating him. Because at one point, they are like, hey, you got to get your act together. So they can't get the message across to him. Joker can't get the message across to him, so they just start beating him with these bars of soap in the middle of the night for punishment.
Do you think that's justified? That beating?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously, if they knew that the guy would have flipped out,
right,
they wouldn't have done it. But the thing is, dude, it's like this is them preparing him for Vietnam.
Yeah, good point.
And he can't even handle doing basic stuff.
Right.
How's he going to handle bullets flying at his head?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because I mean, if he's not ready, he's apt to get one of them killed.
Exactly. And they go through a progression. Ermey's yelling at him at first. He doesn't get the message. He punishes them multiple times. He doesn't get the message. Then he punishes the rest of the group, hoping that Pyle will feel bad for getting the rest of the group punished, and he still doesn't get the message. Once they beat, they have to go. The last option is we're going to have to just beat you.
It's true.
And he gets, he loses his mind here. But curiously enough, it's almost like he gets the message and starts acting good,
right?
Out of like revenge.
Yeah. You're only as strong as your weakest link. That's facts.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to get someone killed if he doesn't have the mental discipline.
Right. And I like the way that that's shot too. That scene where they beat on him, because it's like that. They have it a couple times in this movie where it's like the lighting is like this grayscale, kind of bluish, right? Yeah. And then like you referenced before, the soundtrack, they have this like weird, kind of ominous background. I don't even know if it was music or noise.
It's like a instrumental,
right?
This eerie instrumental music comes on, and it just enhances. No, it's really, that's one thing I'll give this movie is, the shots are just really well done, but that's any Kubrick movie for sure. I mean, this is a guy, to your earlier point, like this is a guy that you probably couldn't do anything to help him.
Yeah.
You're not going to, not everyone is going to get through this system because they have, and this is why they have Section 8. Yeah. As they say, it's for people that are mentally incapable of handling it. And they get just, I don't know what they do with those people, but.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I noticed about his portrayal of Pyle. Do you think that he's not all up there to begin with? In a sense,
the actor?
Well, yeah. No, I'm just the character. You know what I mean? It's should he have even been there?
No, he shouldn't have. And
special needs, if you will.
The problem is, though, is like things like that where there are mental cases. It's hard to just detect that 100% with everyone.
Right. He does a good job of portraying it, though. I mean, he's just kind of
phenomenal job, dude. His face in this, is incredible. The way he's got this just goofy grin on his face the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's a phenomenal. Vincent D'Onofrio playing Private Pyle, phenomenal job in this, and I don't know what else to say other than the guy just perfectly portrays like a guy getting more and more unhinged as the time goes on.
Yeah, I think all the acting's great in this, but we kind of glossed over Ermey at the beginning when he's just how he breaks down each dude so well and just shit talks everybody. And then they all keep their name that he gives them from boot camp throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
The best guy at talking shit gives the best nicknames.
100%. But then again, they adopt it for the rest of the movie.
And he brings up later he's talking about Lee Harvey Oswald shooting JFK, making these 250-foot shots with an old Italian bolt action rifle in 6 seconds.
Yeah, so that strikes me as like tongue in cheek a little bit, the way he says it, because I think he references the observatory tower shooting in Texas right before that, but he gets real detailed with the JFK one, and it makes you feel like, is he saying this conspiratorially? I don't know. Did you catch that?
I Well, I think this is like in the 60s. It's in the late 60s or whatever. So this is fresh.
Right.
This is fresh off of Kennedy.
But it's said in
killed.
such a way that how was he able to make these shots with this old...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way you have to play the clip, but it's just the way he delivers it. It's like,
I took it as like him having such respect for the Marine Corps.
Right.
That he's like, only way Lee Harvey Oswald makes these impossible shots is because he's a U.S. Marine.
Yeah, well, I could see that, but I guess I'm just a conspiracy brain, so it just defaults to that when I hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, JFK shooting Lee Harvey Oswald. Powerful stuff, folks.
Guys, I don't believe it.
The magic bullet theory.
Harvey Oswald shot him.
Anyway.
Joker. Making the night rounds, stumbles on Pyle, loading his gun on the toilet.
Yeah, this is an alarming scene. But one thing that I caught was he's doing these night rounds. There was a dude earlier where the drill sergeant, tells him to lock up or whatever. They have these helmets on, these metal helmets. Why? Like Joker's rocking his, pajamas or clothes for nighttime, and he just has this helmet on. Why?
Yeah. Not sure. But it's funny you bring that up because I thought the same thing when I was watching it. I was like, why is this dude's helmet metal? It's like tin metal or something. Someone in the comments, all my U.S. Marines out there, please.
Yeah, really.
And tell us, why was this dude wearing a metal helmet? Because we both noticed this and we found it strange.
Yeah, it's anyhow. But yeah, so this scene is just go on. This scene is completely jacked up.
It's phenomenal the way he transforms his face into this demonic looking creature.
Yeah.
Private Pyle is sitting on a toilet and Joker comes in. And it's the middle of the night. Now, who knows how we didn't see him go in the bathroom in the first place? But he goes in, shines the light on him, and he's just like sitting there hunched over, half smiling, laughing. And you're like, oh my God, this dude looks super unhinged. And he looks possessed. Like a demon possessed him. But he starts flipping out and doing like the rifle on one shoulder thing.
Yeah.
And then loads a magazine and puts around in the chamber. And then Ermey busts in and he says something kind of funny to Joker. He's like, why are you not stomping his guts in?
Yeah, well, then you have Ermey come in and just pop off as well. And it's like, obviously he shoots him and then he puts the gun on Joker. The first time you saw this, did you think he was going to shoot Joker?
No, I didn't, because the first time I saw this, I was like a little kid.
Right, but I'm saying the first time you really watched it through.
Well, I was like, there's no way they're going to kill Joker because he's probably when I saw this, I was like, Matthew Modine's the main character.
Right.
But you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They could pull switcheroo and just have the main character die. You don't know.
Or just be wounded.
But again, I mean, I'm talking about D'Onofrio's face here. Once again, I love these guys' faces. Come on now. It goes from him looking demonic, and then Joker's like, be easy, man. Take it easy. And you can look on D'Onofrio's face, and it actually transforms from a demon back to the normal guy.
Yeah.
For like a split second.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, that is incredible acting right there.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
He like snapped out of it temporarily.
For a split second. He realizes what he did. And then it just dawns on him like, I'm just gonna kill myself because
Joker talked to him like a human being and said his name, where, he was in this trance, right? And then Hartman comes in and starts screaming at him. So it's not going to help the situation, dude. The guy's got a loaded gun. You probably shouldn't be talking shit to him. Takes him out, and then Joker says his name, and he snaps at him. He's like, "Oh, that's a friend. That's a friendly. Right?" And then, like you said, realize what he did, kills himself.
But it's so subtle, the movement in his face, though. So subtle.
Yeah,
you could see the demonic energy leave him. It's crazy.
Very powerful stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So,
dude. So
next scene is Vietnam.
Yeah, we go right to Vietnam, and this was just what I was saying before. Such a wild transition, right? So you have 45 minutes of this kind of isolated story, only to open up, and you're just in Vietnam, right? Mm-hmm. Is that kind of alarming to you? The way that this is like two separate movies.
Yeah, the only other movie I can think of that's a close comparison of this type of thing is From Dusk Till Dawn, where the first part of it is like a heist movie, and then it just turns into a vampire movie halfway through. Yep. Like, what the hell? It's kind of like that in this movie, where the first half is them in boot camp, and then the second half is in Vietnam, and it's almost two different movies.
Yeah, it's very interesting transition, but it opens where they're in Vietnam. And you have this famous hooker scene, right? The whole "I love you" long time.
You're so horny.
Right? It's infamous. A quick story time section here for you folks. So I filmed a commercial with this dude, right? Years ago. He's probably like 50s, right? And he was retired Marine military dude. So I think he was actually an officer, I believe. So he's telling me a bunch of these stories from, when they were deployed on set, right? And for starters, this dude was like funny as hell. Just the way he delivered his cadence was great. But I'm assuming this is, roughly back in the 2000s era that he was deployed. But he was saying how they were stationed in Thailand for a period of time. And basically,
oh boy,
the stories you hear, they would get shit faced in like these local bars or whatever. So he's telling me one time it was his birthday and his crew got him drunk and they bought him some chick, right? So he's like, he realized it after the fact, but they were giggling. And this chick takes him upstairs and starts coming on to him. And he's like, before I know it, she's pulling down her pants. And sure enough, he sees a surprise and he's like shocked. And he goes, "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I can't do it. You're bigger than I am." So like, you kind of had to hear the story, but this is like a regular thing. He was saying, when they were deployed, they get these chicks or whatever, prostitutes, but yeah, just didn't surprise me seeing in this movie.
Apparently Thailand was just completely built off of dudes from Vietnam going to Thailand.
Right.
For R&R.
Well, yeah.
And they just built these towns of like these hookers. And it still exists today.
I think I vaguely remember him saying that too, that it was this town that was on water and it was just horrible conditions, but it was literally just focused for R&R for people in the army. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because
there's a town in Thailand that's famous for this called Phuket. Okay. The town is literally called Fuck It. And if you go look this town up online, and you see just incredibly insane videos of people walking down. There's this like famous street in this town, and it's just bars everywhere, and there's these women out on the street, and they'll just kind of go up to you. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's dope.
Are they women? Are they ladyboys? They don't know.
In Thailand,
you find out later.
Well, this dude did, and he's like. Took it like a champ and just, it was funny the way you said it. But, so anyway, the VC infiltrates this US base. Joker is in the bunker with this heavy machine gun. Can I get a loadout check on that thing?
This is kind of wild. Joker's rocking an M60 in this specific scene. An M60 is a heavy machine gun, and it's the same gun that Animal Mother uses later in the movie.
But he just walks around with it in his hands.
Well, yeah, he just... he's a big boy.
Absolute Chad.
And you probably would want something for this kind of thing where these dudes are just rolling in your base. I mean, the way it's shot, this truck just comes in and they're all just sitting there just like, all right, I guess this is it. And they just unload on this truck.
Yeah, it's dumb because they just come in right in the front, the Viet Cong, and like some dudes just follow up just to get shot. But yeah, why is the dude who has the least combat experience manning the M60?
I don't know. It does make you think because Joker doesn't seem that big of a guy, number one.
Yeah.
But also it seems like a really snap situation.
Yeah,
they're
no,
all sitting in the bunker or not the bunker, the barracks or whatever. And it conveys a really good, like, it's go time.
Yeah.
Because they're all talking about wanting to be, quote, in the shit and see actual combat experience.
It is, yeah, I caught that too. It's funny how they're like discussing it and coming at each other about who's seen combat. It's like, oh, well, here's your chance.
Yeah. And the way the lights flicker and they hear the bombs go off and they're like, is this it?
Yep.
And then the lights go completely off and they're like, oh, it's on now. And they're like sprinting down the road to the front line there.
Yeah, dude.
That's a great scene of like conveying that feeling of like, let's go, let's get it on. You know?
Yeah. Awesome scene.
And then he's not the only, like I said, Animal Mother has the M60 and then the gunner in the helicopter.
Is that also an M60?
Yeah. It's a wild gun. It's the same gun that Rambo has.
Yeah.
That he uses. And it's like we find out Joker is working for this newspaper, Stars and Stripe, the official like U.S. military newspaper or whatever. So
propaganda machine.
He's like, the Joker's just cracking these jokes in this meeting where the head the head guy is trying to keep it serious.
Yeah, and
he's just got Joker next to him cracking jokes the whole time, basically being completely cynical about what he's talking about, the Orwellian newspeak that he's using.
Which kind of caught me because, you know, he's talking shit to this dude a little bit. And this guy's like, I've actually been in combat, Joker. Like, I feel like this dude would have been a little more hard on him, but he lets him just talk shit to him, which I just thought was kind of weird, but, you know. But speaking of that M60, you know, you have that scene where the dude who you referenced was supposed to play Hartman. He's like, come and get it, come get some. And he's shooting out of the helicopter. And you have who's in there with him? It's Joker. Rafterman, yeah. So, and he's about to puke and stuff. Yeah. But it's funny because the way they shoot it, it's this helicopter's just flying and he's just unloading a bunch of rounds. And you can see the helicopter's clearly going super fast. And he's just unloading all these rounds. And I get what they're doing here, but it doesn't really sell very well because then they do like the other angle where it shows a bunch of civilians. There's like 4 of them. Yeah. And it's like, this dude's just unloading. Yeah, there's nobody out there, dude. It's just a bunch of fields because you can see it as the plane goes by. I just thought that was his shot is so dumb.
And Joker in the helicopter is just everything that Joker says in this movie. If you watch it a second time, it's like, wait, he's just being cynical with everything he says.
100%, dude. 100%. Yeah.
He's like, how can you kill women and children? But like he says it like that, like an honest question. But and then the guy answers it honestly, but as a joke.
But that's what makes me feel that he was drafted, because it's like seemingly this dude doesn't really want to be there. You know what I mean? He does the kill face, and it's like, you know, he does kill people. He's apt to kill people. He does, right? When you know shit hits the fan. But it just strikes me as a guy who's completely cynical of what they're doing there. You know, he's not buying it, right? I don't know. It's a really cool character. Joker's a great character.
Yeah, and then even at the beginning, he goes, "Why are you here?"
Yeah,
he just cynically responds, "To kill."
Born to kill, born to feel.
And I gotta mention this because this is. I was watching this and I kind of forgot about this in the movie. My favorite random side character in the movie.
Who's this? It's
Joker is talking to, I I think the lieutenant touchdown.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how the NVA was killing civilians in these towns that they're going to. So they go to a mass grave of all these civilians that are covered in lime. And he's about to interview another lieutenant that's on site there.
Yeah.
And this colonel is standing in the background, and he notices Joker's peace symbol pin that's on his jacket. And he walks up to him, and he starts giving him shit for it. He's like, "Why are you wearing a peace symbol?" And like, but it says "Born to Kill"
on your helmet.
And he's like, "What's that about?" And then Joker starts being cynical with him, saying, "I think it's something about the duality of man, sir." You know, the Jungian thing. And this guy, his response is so funny. He just gives like an exasperated sigh, and he goes like, "Whose side are you on, son?" He's like, and he goes like, "Why don't you jump on the team and come in for the big win?" I've said that to people multiple times, and no one has gotten the reference. No one gets it. Like, so if someone's like disagreeing with me, and I tell them that they're wrong and everything, and or someone's messing up something, I would tell them like, "No, you're doing it wrong." Just give them that line. Why don't you come in? Why don't you come on the team? And then never get it, and they just look at me like I'm some lunatic. And I give a little small chuckle to myself.
Nah, it's a good scene. Yeah, the dude's reaction though, you're right, is completely hilarious in that. Which leads us right into the kind of the final sequence, right? Going into Vietnam action scene, if you will. So Lieutenant Touchdown gets taken out, right? And he's at the front of the unit, just walking with no cover, just gets, I don't know if he gets sniped, or like a bomb goes off, or I think it was like wasn't it like some kind of hidden mine that he steps on?
I think it was some kind of mine, or claymores, or I don't know, some kind of bombs went off.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in military formations, but why would the lieutenant be in the front?
I don't know. It's a great question. I thought the same thing when I was watching it. It seems like a major oversight to have the lieutenant of this unit be running point.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a personal preference thing, and some of these lieutenants would just make those calls.
Right.
And I could see in this case someone like Lieutenant Touchdown would be apt to lead the team.
I played some ball at Notre Dame.
even if it's dumb strategy wise, I'm gonna just show my grit and lead the team out there.
Yeah.
It seems silly to me though.
With that is the practical effects in this, and just the sets that they have. This whole sequence kind of catches my attention with that, because there's no bullshit CGI. They're just real sets. Like it's actual fires happening. You know what I mean? They have like the exploding bullet hole looking things. You don't get that anymore.
The squibs.
Yeah, you don't get that anymore.
Dude.
I mean, you could say what you want about some of these, in this scene specifically where the dudes are getting shot and you can see the squibs kind of blowing up and it looks like fake blood. Sure. I mean, this is 1987, but I can't stress enough how cool some of these buildings that are crumbling with just fires engulfed in them.
Yeah.
Just really does it for me. Really does it for me.
I'm so glad, you bring this up. It's a relief to watch a movie and see the sets, the costumes.
Yeah, dude.
The weapons. All this is authentic, dude.
It's, you don't get that anymore.
I don't know if we've discussed yet on the podcast at length about how I actually hate digital.
Well, let's get into it, because this is an important thing. Because I'll tell you what, I just watched the teaser trailer or teaser, whatever, for the new season of Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this monster looks so dumb. It just looks digital. I mean, the concept of it looks cool as hell, but you can just tell. And I think our eyes are now just trained to see, you know what I mean? It's just, with stuff like this, you can't fake it.
Yeah. The film aspect, the realistic, the grainy look
Yeah,
to this film.
for sure.
I don't know what it is. I think it's better. There's something about the digital, and it's how it has no imperfections in it,
Right.
that it's doing something to my brain where I can't accept this as reality.
It's a good point.
It's too perfect.
Too perfect. And that's the thing is, so you can do some great things with cameras nowadays, and they can look sick. But the CGI angle, man, it's lacking.
I don't like CGI in most cases. We have talked at length about how we dislike superhero movies, okay? It's not just the superhero movies, it's the fact that these superhero movies, they get a budget of $300 million, and I swear to God, the CGI is not as good as Terminator 2, which came out in 1991. I'm going to go on record that. I just saw the movie Superman. Okay? The scene at the end of the movie, he's fighting his clone. Spoiler alerts. Superman fights his clone in the latest movie. Wow! It's the same actor. And they're fighting in this pocket dimension. It's all CGI. It's really, I've had enough of it, dude.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
You watch a movie like this and you have real practical effects. We'll get into this at length when it comes to Halloween time. We start talking about monsters and stuff. Practical effects, it allows the brain to see it and believe it's real.
Yeah.
Or CGI, it's this uncanny valley type thing. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's made this up before. No, I'm not the originator of this idea, but it takes you out of the movie. I can identify that is not real.
100%. It's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Well, what a relief it is to see this movie, Bud, and see all the practical effects and
again
the costumes and everything.
Again, I think it's more nowadays the explosions, all that shit. It's like entertainment value. Sure, that's cool, but that's not going to make me believe that it's real. They can do some cool things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be, a downer or a hater, but it's noticeable, man. Like I said, even that short segment of the monster and that Stranger Things clip, I'm just like, it's also exhausting.
Well, look, I mean, CGI, they don't have to do practical effects anymore. We can do it on the computer. So it's like a spirit of laziness. And they have these movies that they come out with that they don't have to hire writers for anymore because all the comics are already written. Oh, we don't have to spend money on So what are they spending this $300 billion budget on?
It's not marketing, because that marketing is never, equated into that number.
Yeah, I'm confused. So
I guess salaries,
maybe that costs money. The salaries of the actors.
Are they laundering money?
But whoa, bud, flying a little too close to the sun there, aren't you? Whoa.
Anyway, so we'll talk about this another day on another movie. But yeah, I mean, it's just seeing these actual sets, just it makes it look so great,
Yeah, I totally agree. And then so they come up. It's now they're down to lieutenant. The sergeant what's his name? Crazy Earl gets killed as well by a bomb.
My guy.
And now Cowboy's in charge, and they're lost getting to the next checkpoint. And Eightball pulls Cowboy over, like, "Hey, come here for a second. I think we're lost." And he points it out on the map and everything.
Yeah.
And then this is so funny, dude. Joker walks up and he just goes like, "Hey, are we lost?"
No, it's Cowboy says, "We're changing direction," and then Joker goes, "Are we lost?" He's like,
yeah.
"Joker, shut the fuck up." It's like, he's already, the weight of the world on his shoulders that he now on the fly has to take care of this unit. But then he's got Joker just talking shit. It's so good.
Yeah, like they're in a serious situation. and Joker just can't help himself. He's, he just goes right into, and it's the deadpan delivery too.
100%, dude. What you were saying earlier, yeah, that's exactly what it is. But so in that, to build on that, they send Eightball out in the middle of this square alone.
Yeah.
Again, I'm no military tactician, but is that smart? What did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah.
Poor Eightball.
Why did they send him out alone and why did he walk into the middle of the square? Not known. Yeah, but I didn't get it. I don't know what the tactics are there. Eightball gets shot by a sniper, and they do the classic move where the sniper just shoots you in the leg, so that you're crying out to lure the rest of you in, right? I just love the fact that Eightball gets shot, and they immediately just unload on all the buildings behind him,
wherever, just spray it.
And the dude, the one guy, it cuts to the one guy, and he's just got the grenade launcher. And I'm like, that's my friend's dad.
Go on.
My friend Duke's his dad. My friend Duke is like a maniac in real life, and his dad was a Vietnam vet. But the funny, he made a point to tell me years ago, like he was the guy that showed up, and they gave him a grenade launcher.
Jesus. Jesus.
Like imagine there's like I don't know how they gave
determined, right?
Obviously, they determine someone like Animal Mother is gigantic. We'll give him the M60, right? And they see this dude walk in. They're like, this guy's the grenade launcher guy, no doubt, no doubt. Apparently, he served 2 tours in Vietnam.
Insane.
Completely insane maniac.
Insane. Yeah, Animal Mother. I like the character. A little bit of a scumbag, though. I mean, he gets Cowboy killed by just not listening to him, and he's like, we gotta save these dudes. Okay, well, they're dead as soon as you get there. Did you not see what just happened?
Yeah.
But it's kind of based that he and Joker immediately agree to push back, or push on and get payback afterwards. Which at that point, it's like, what are you going to do? Right? They already said they're not going to send the tanks in. You can, I guess, pull back and save your lives, but you're that far into it, and you have 3 of your guys get killed. What else are you going to do? Like, what are you doing in that situation?
I don't know, dude.
You're pushing up
because I'm like a reality guy. I feel like,
yeah, but I think
these guys. I'm kind of on Cowboy's side.
No, I was on Cowboy's side initially, but I'm talking about after Cowboy dies.
Oh, right? When he dies. Oh, in that case, then yeah, we're gonna go.
Yeah,
this guy.
And I think
now you zeroed in on where he is.
Yeah, I think Kubrick did a really good job of just like bringing out the emotion. So it's like, all right, this sniper has taken out 3 dudes. They only have 6 more dudes in the unit. Let's just go. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point,
right.
We're in the shit.
Yeah, dude. This is that's an actually. I love this this scene here because. First off, Cowboy gets shot through the little hole in the wall, and he's dying. And I like the fact that he does this thing where he's like, I can hack it. I can hack it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, you can't, dude. Like, you're dying right now. And he's fighting all the way to the end. Just fighting against reality. He's like, I don't want to die. He's like, and then he gets shot. They lay him down. He's like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, dude, for sure. But when they're going into to find the sniper, to add on to the whole thing about the effects, the lighting here is really cool. Because, right, it's like,
dude.
It's after dusk. It's starting to get dark, but not like pitch black. And then they have, just these decimated buildings, right, with the fires engulfed. It's just really cool. Even to where they go into that. Yeah, I don't even know what that building is where they find the sniper, but he comes up behind her, and just the layout's really cool. Again, the lighting it's sick.
I love where Animal Mother's like, hey, let's get some payback. And Joker's just like, okay.
Yeah.
They pop the smokes and everything. They start rolling into the building, and then it cuts to them creeping in, and this instrumental music track starts playing.
100%.
It's called Ruins,
Mhm.
and it's like it's the greatest enhancement of a scene via an instrumental music. It's so good, dude. Because now they're like going into this decrepit building. Anywhere they move, this sniper could be behind any corner. They're
Right.
sneaking around in there, and you know they find her. It's a girl.
Right.
Plot twist. It's a woman, and Rafterman shoots her and everything.
Rafterman's
that-
the unsung hero.
That initial thing where they're creeping around and that music playing is just so creepy.
Dude.
It's phenomenal.
I've always said this: music is such a good, enhancer in movies. It's whether it's like a really well-known song or like a, just a big orchestra type song, even down to something like this where it's just like quiet, right? And ambient.
Mm-hmm.
It can just do so much for a scene.
Yeah, dude.
You listen as much as you see, so it's definitely plays into it. But, another thing throughout this movie and last week with, Platoon is, can we bring back the term wasted? Like,
Yeah.
they're saying this, oh, he got wasted. Oh, he's wasted. Like dead. Can we bring that back? You don't realize until you hear it in these movies referencing this.
Doc J and 8-Ball are wasted.
They're wasted. So good, dude.
It's like a lot. You don't really hear that. I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah.
We need to bring back, folks.
He got wasted.
We need to bring back wasted. Okay.
Simple as.
And I'm not talking about drunk. I'm talking about
No. Forget about it being drunk. No. It's going back to being killed. Like wasted. But yeah, I mean, that's the long and short of it for this movie,
Why don't you just, why don't you tell me your Keynote rating, sir? What do you got? How do you rate this movie?
I'm going to give this a solid 7.7. Yeah. 7.7. Certainly hits the mark with shot composition. Acting, like I said, was real good. Not like the craziest, but, facial expressions, just reactions, great. And the dialogue is pretty funny. But yeah, it's a lot more action in this movie. Like we just talked about, the soundtrack is great, ambient. But, again, 7.7, it's definitely for me, it's no Platoon or Apocalypse Now, but it's very good. Very well done. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you again. I give this movie, 7.
Oh, that's it.
It's pretty funny. It's got iconic, quotable lines and everything, and fantastic characters. But I don't think it's like a movie that like I'd watch again. Like I'm not gonna make a point to watch it over and over.
Agreed. Agree with that.
It's not as heavy hitting as other Vietnam movies, if that makes any sense.
No,
like
this
movie's very funny.
Yeah,
and then there's some really disturbing scenes in it, but it's very funny.
I can agree with that. Yeah, it's not
heavy hitting.
Right. It's not the best, but it's a great movie. Keynote nonetheless, folks.
Mm-hmm. Folks, there you have it. Another episode in the books.
Catch you in the next one.